Well, hello. Let's see who we have here. Kimberly and Vicky. Hey, ladies. I'm doing well. How are you? Hello, Laura. Is this your first time here? Your name doesn't look familiar to me. I love the name Laura, by the way. I mean, there's a lot of pretty names in the world, but there's a story behind the name Laura. I grew up watching actually reading the Laura Ingalls Wilder books. They're probably the first series I ever read as a kid, and I reread them and reread them. And in my head, I didn't tell anyone, but I was always thinking, I'm going to have a little girl named Laura when I grew up. And then my older sister named her daughter Laura. I guess I didn't express myself well. Okay. Hi, Linda. How are you? Good to see you. And I have to say, I really wanted to do this live stream in a different time slot because I keep saying that I'm going to so that I can attract a different audience or give others a chance. And then it doesn't work out. So this morning I got to get my lights fixed. This morning I had to edit the introduction, the Welcome to Marie Scrappy Creations part of the video that just dropped a little over an hour ago, today's tutorial. So then I couldn't do that this morning. I couldn't do the live stream this morning, besides the fact that I hadn't given anyone any notice to it. So, all right, let's see. Hey, Denise, how are you? Oh, you're not late? I just turned it on. I bet you I haven't even been on 2 minutes. Well, there's our Nancy Zipper. How you doing, Nancy? You remembered in time. Jean, hello. She can't stay, but we'll watch the replay. Well, that's good. I'm glad you dropped in. Hi, Phyllis from Southern Illinois. We wave. Patricia, hello from New Jersey. Very good. Is this your first live stream? That's the same thing I asked Laura. So I'll show you guys because it's not quite time. I'll show you what I've been working on today. If I can find it. Where did I put it? I was putting everything away before the live stream, trying to clean up my sewing room a little, just a little bit. So for anyone who hasn't seen it, well, mine is downstairs, but last week on the Facebook group, I posted a picture of my autumn tote bag purse. I use it as a purse. And I had so many comments, emails, private messages saying, please, can you show us how to do that? And even though I had already made a tote bag tutorial, I figured, why not? This one has a magnetic closure, so it's a little bit different. And it's autumn fabric. It's a little bit different. Oh, excuse me. So Patricia and Laura, it's both of their first times on a live stream. Well, I'm glad you ladies could make it. We have a lot of fun. So welcome, welcome. And to everyone, welcome. Okay, so I had a lot of people asking me. So the tutorial just dropped about 4 o'clock. So about an hour and a half ago, which more on that in a minute. But anyway, so unless you already saw it, you don't know that this was today's tutorial. Okay, so this is the one we made during the tutorial. And inside, hi, Marilyn, how are you? Oh, you're welcome, Laura. I got some fabric. Now, I bought this at Martin's. Oh, my land. It's probably 5 years since I bought this. Thinking I loved it, so I thought I'd use it, but I hadn't used it. And I only had a half a yard of it, so I thought it's going in the tote bag. Now I like this one better than I like the one I made for myself. But, okay, so there's always a but, right? So this was made with the Pellon fusible fleece. Well, of course, I had to cut another one out. So this is the other one. These are the two sides of the other one. And, you know, when I first received this fabric from Kimberley, when I saw these with the purple, I hope they show up. But when I first saw those, I thought, you know, I know a lot of people put those colors together for autumn, but I just really don't think I'm going to like it. I love it. Like on this one, yeah, right here. I will say you have to be careful where you place it, okay? As far as I'm concerned, you have to. Hi, Terry. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Okay, so when I placed it next to either of these, I thought it looked really, really nice. I liked it. In fact, the more I look at it, the better I like it. So now I know why they were in the charm packs. And anyway, so then there's the pocket. And where's my phone? During the tutorial, I couldn't show everyone my phone because I was using it. So I'll have a chance to show you guys because we're not starting yet. So I'll just chat away, right? Hi, Wendy. It's Wendy's first time in the live stream, I believe, Wendy. Is that right? Okay, so this is inside out, and I just wanted to show you how well these fit in the pocket. And for me, and of course, anyone could do their pocket whichever way they like. I wanted it so that it wasn't completely covered. I wanted a little bit of that phone sticking up, as well as this. I wanted a little bit of space. I didn't want it tight like this. So, hi, Vivian. Oh, and it is Wendy's first time. Wendy, I won't give anything away. Not that I have a lot to give away, but I just want to tell you guys that I am in Presque Isle, Maine. And that's in Aroostook County, way up north of Maine. We are not anywhere near the coast and the lobster and all that business. A lobster couldn't survive here, not even 5 minutes. He'd freeze to death. No, but really. Anyway, so my mom, we moved to Holton, Maine when I was 7 years old. And I stayed there through till when I graduated. And like I said, I've been up here. I'm in Presque Isle. We lived in a town called Easton, just very close to here, for 30 years. So Wendy lives in Holton, which is where I grew up. And it's, you know, about 42 miles from here south. So small world, right? Probably, if we're anywhere close in age, we probably have the same home economics teacher at Holton High School. So Vivian, I am so glad that you have your power and your internet back. So for anyone who doesn't know, Vivian had nothing. She had no electricity. She had no internet because she's in Puerto Rico and their services were down. They had a really bad storm. Thank you, Kimberly. I'm glad you like it. Okay, do we have any moderators? Anyone want to volunteer? I don't know if we have anyone here who is a moderator. I don't believe so. Hopefully we won't have any spammers, but you just never know. You just never know. And if they hit, you just have to help me get them out. Okay, if everyone can give me the thumbs up, that would be awesome. I would appreciate it. Oh, did you guys see? I did a little bit of decorating. I don't know how well you can see, but I put out some autumn leaves. I have, my daughter-in-law gave me 2 of these a number of years ago. And then I put the stuff from the dollar store in here, like that. I have another cup up there. I'm not going to stretch my arm again. I just did that, and that was a no-no. And then I made this fabric pumpkin a while back, probably 4 or 5 years ago. I have another one, but I can't find it, of course. And I had this up last week. I've got some leaves over here that you can't see. And of course, I've got some here and a little bit over here with my little angels that, oops, I had to mess with it. They're over here with my angels that Lisa Marie made for me. So yeah, I'm getting that autumn vibe in my sewing room because I love autumn. Hello, Trinette, how are you? And she's got the thumbs up, and Patricia's got the thumbs up. Well, good evening to you, Audrey. Oh, I can show you again. As I told the other ones, the other ladies, I don't have my tote bag up here. It's downstairs, but this is the one from today's tutorial. And inside, it has one pocket it's actually two pockets, but it's one pocket divided into two like this. So generally I keep my keys and my hand sanitizer, my EpiPen over here, and then I keep my phone here. And as I was saying earlier, it doesn't drop down into my purse where I can't find it, and it doesn't drop down into the pocket so that I have to reach in. It's not too tight, it's not too loose. It's just right. And then, I don't think I showed anyone, but anyway, it has the magnetic clasp. Whoops, if I line it up. And I did scrappy strips for the strap. Say it, Kimberly, say it fast 3 times. Scrappy strips for the strap. I can't even say it. Try to get you to say it. Hi, Adam. Naughty lady, quack, quack. Hey, I didn't have to okay it. You were able to put your duckies all in a row, Adam. Good to see you. How are you doing? And I know it's late there. I keep saying I'm going to do this earlier, and then I don't. Thank you, Nancy, Terry, Laura, Elena. Hello, Elena. Is this your first time? I'm terrible with names and remembering. Patricia says, your room is so clean. Mine looks like the fabric fairy threw up. Okay. I did clean up the other day, and then you guys know her as Nanny B, but my friend and I, we sewed a lot. You guys want to see what I sewed the other day? I will catch up here in a second. I should catch up first. But anyway, I'm going to talk to you about my room being a mess. I cleaned up from what her and I sewed, because we sewed for like 4 hours together the other day. And she's in Australia, so she's 14 hours ahead of me. So I got up at 2 a.m. and was ready to go. I can't remember, but somewhere around 5 a.m. my time we started, because of course that's 7 p.m. for her. Well, anyway, so my room had been all clean, and then it looked like, as you say, the fabric fairy threw up. So I cleaned all that up and then started on all this, and I have 2 of them going. So it looked terrible. I mean, it looked really bad. So I have to be honest and tell you guys that a lot of times I do pick up my room, but I don't sweep, and I'm terrible for just throwing. If I cut off thread, it goes on the floor. I don't have time for this trash can business. I have sewing to do. Anyway, if I go to do a live stream or film something and I really don't have time, you know what I do? I either take a tote box or I take one of those reusable grocery bags, because we don't have plastic here in Maine. I just swoop everything right into there. Quick, clean. It looks like the maid has been. Yeah, that's what I do. The bad part is later I have to go sort through all that. So that's not quite so good. All right, let's see. Nancy says, Patricia, I think our fabric fairies have the same flu. Audrey, love it. Okay, yeah. Elena, I'm glad you found my channel too. Yay. And you know, I have to stop and think about it because I keep telling people, oh, I've been going more than 6 months now. But you know, I think it's closer to 8 now. 8 months I've been going. Adam says, I don't sleep well anyway. I got my ducks past the filter. Ha, ha, ha. The other night, Adam was in the live stream, and every single time he comes in, he'll put, well, like his ducks there. And it would have me okay it because it would tell me that something, you know, someone was trying to write something that might be offensive, what it was saying. Adam, could you moderate? Even if you don't stay, could you moderate? And don't be afraid to tell me no. You can tell me no. Adam, my thread ends up on my lap or my legs. Patricia says, oh, I suck my thread off the vacuum hose. Hey, Janet, you made it. She slid in. Okay, Adam, I appreciate that. I don't have any moderators, and that's about when I would get hit, you know. So, okay, it's only 5:37. I'm going to wait about 3 more minutes before we start. Okay, so I was going to show you guys what I sewed with my friend Nanny B the other night, okay, or the other morning. Before I show you this, you need to understand that there are certain things I should have had, and I knew this, but that I should have had in order to make this wallet. You can make it on a home machine. An industrial would be better. I'm sure Adam would can throw his 2 cents worth in there. But I wanted to make this for at least 4 years. And I've had the pattern for a couple of months. But I made an NCW, a necessary clutch wallet. Hi, Donna. How are you? You almost missed me. Well, we haven't even quite started our quilt along yet. We haven't started our block, so you didn't miss it. Hello, Kathy. How are you? See, she has creative chaos too, guys. Patricia says her daughter should be there soon, and if she leaves, it's because she's here. We understand. That's life, and hey, family comes first. Jan says, I made it. Yay, just finished block 4. Well, then you'll only have 2 to catch up on. Okay, so Adam, you may want to close your eyes. I don't want you to be shrieking in horror. Okay, so before I show you guys this, I'm going to say that since it was my first try on this wallet, I used fabrics that I liked, but I didn't necessarily care if something happened. Number 2, I should have used a solid color for my card slots, but because I didn't have anything that matched, I had to use something else. And number 3, well, other than the sewing machine part, number 3 is on the edges of the wallet, most people use rivets or what's called Chicago screws. I have neither, so I had to try to sew through countless, I mean seriously, countless layers of fabric. At the very end, it was the last step. And I could have cried because it just didn't look right. But this was more or less a test. I knew that I would probably play around with the fusible that I used inside, the firmness or whatever. So this was all a test. You ready? Okay, now that I've told you all the bad things. Let's see. I will touch on that in a moment, Adam. That's what I'm thinking I'm going to have to go with. Okay, here we go. So this is my NCW, my necessary clutch wallet, my very first one. Okay, so what you have is you have an area back here, and then you have 6 card slots here. Whoops. 6 card slots. And of course you have, so you got 2 compartments pretty. 1, 2. And then you have a zippered compartment. And another section. And another section with more card slots, 6 more. So you have 12 altogether. And then another section. And your phone can fit in here. Right? So, am I happy with it? 90% happy. The only thing I am not happy with is here. Now, you see how this is like an accordion. I'm going to fold that flat back. Okay. So what people normally do right here, because it's so thick, what you're sewing through is all this. And it's especially the one with the zipper. This is really thick. This is where they put the rivets, or what's called Chicago screws, which are basically just a screw that you screw in the 2 ends and it ends up looking like a rivet, which is what I'm going with. I just ordered some today. So I will show you. Now I stitched, let me see. Yeah. My first 2 came out really well. This was my first one. Of course, you're going back and forth. You're trying to reinforce because you don't want it to come apart. So some of them weren't, my first 2 were actually my neatest, but then over here I ran into trouble, probably because I was getting discouraged at that point. But that's my third one, so you can see that it's got a little bit on the end there. And then the last one, I'm going to take a couple of them out and restitch them. But overall, I am happy. I want a firmer fusible in there, but I wasn't sure what my machine could handle and how it would be. I'd still use it. I still like it. You know, I really do. Okay, so I'm going to go catch up on this, and then we're going to start our quilt along. Okay, let's see. Adam, semi-industrial is the happy medium. I just love mine. Epic for piecing. That's really where I'm probably going to look in the future, Adam. I'm scared of even looking at the price on them. I don't know, but we'll see. And Jan, as far as being on finished block number 4, you're perfect, because we're fitting 2. We just had block number 5 the other day. We're fitting in 2 quilt blocks in 1 week because it's been so sporadic. You'll catch up. And Donna, that's good. Block number 6, you can get the blocks to catch up. Or are you asking how can you get the blocks to catch up? Because I do have a playlist, which I can grab you the link to if you need it. And then Patty asks, what is a semi-industrial machine? And Adam said, semi-industrial has a higher powered motor, etc., but isn't built into a table like a full industrial. It's great for bag making, quilting, etc., like the Janome 1600P, HD9, or the Juki TL series. See, Adam doesn't know anything about sewing or sewing machines, as you can tell. Yeah, he's the go-to. Thank you, Patty, Linda. Oops, I got scrolling way too fast. Laura. Nancy says, beautiful. Thank you, Adam. It's not like yours, but thank you very much. Thank you, Denise. Adam says a Singer 99K, etc. would go through that. I'm going to look into that. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Good evening, Tracy. Good to see you. Denise is giving the thumbs up. For anyone wondering why I am repeating what is in the chat box, it's because when people go and watch the replay, sometimes it's too soon to when the video goes up and YouTube does not have it transcribed. Because normally you can go underneath a live stream. I'll see if I can bring it up here so I can show you guys. You go underneath a live stream and you can see live chat. I'm going to go to one of mine and see. It's showing it right now because we're on it. And that's not going to show. Anyway, right below a video, it will say, you know, like the thumbs up, the like, dislike, share, all that. And it will say live chat. So that isn't always available. Sometimes it can take 12 to 16. I've even seen it take close to 24 hours. And so people don't know what is going on if they're watching the replay. And Adam says you can pick up used for much more reasonable prices. I bet you could. The only problem is I don't have anyone around here who can fix a machine if it needs it. Hi, Janice. I'm glad you came in. Glad you're joining us. We're just getting ready to start the quilt. Hello, Donna. And you want the link? I'm going to go grab that for you right now. What I do is I go to YouTube, to Marie's Scrappy Creations, and then I click on videos. And then when I get to videos, I click on playlists, because that's how I find. There's a lot of ways around there, but I don't mind at all going to find this for you. It just takes me a moment. I just have to find it. Quilt Along playlist. Whoops. I can do this on my, you know what? I'm going to do this on my phone because it's so much quicker that way. It will just take me a minute. Maxine, it asks, what asks you to subscribe every time? Because my friend Terry says that she can't stay signed in or something along those lines. So I'm not sure what goes on with that. Okay. I'm not sure what's going on here, but I'm getting feedback. Oh, I know what it is. I had YouTube on in another tab. Okay, it'll just take me a minute. I'm sorry, guys. I've got to get her this link. Playlists. Quilt Along. Share. Copy link. Okay, the link is right there. Oh, Adam, you already did it. You're ahead of me. I should have watched. I've got to scroll back up and say hi. Okay, Donna, that link is there. Adam, thank you very much. Barbara, it's great that you are able to join us. Thank you so much. Hey, so Terry, that's okay. We'll take even a minute. Thank you so much for dropping by. You know, Terry, it's funny you say that because I just said to someone today, if my singer that's downstairs were working, it would sew through this. I have no doubt in my mind that that older machine would sew through it. Hi, Jeanette. How are you doing? How are you doing? Jeanette lives by the lake there. She sends me pictures. And I'm in such awe. Maxine says, I go onto YouTube daily. Yours is the only one that asks. And that is odd. I can't even imagine why it does that. Hello, Rose. How are you? Okay. Is everyone ready? And I'm sorry, this is my casual attire. It's a little chilly here in the sewing room, which is just how I like it. And, oh, Jeanette says I'm actually waving to you. Well, there. I will grab something to show you and let you see what we're making. So anyone who was on the Facebook group or who watched the like 1 minute video earlier will know that I told everyone to grab some strips of varying widths and lengths and to fussy cut a piece of fabric 4 inches, somewhere in there. It doesn't matter if it's a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller. This is the focal piece or fussy cut piece that I chose. And what we're going to make, I'm sure some of you have made these in the past. We're going to make a crazy block. And our focal fabric goes in the middle. I brought a couple of these to show you. So you take your piece of fabric that you have. Let me get my little board out here. That happy dance, Adam. Do I need to reprimand you? All right. What Adam is talking about is I have a subscriber and she kept saying, darn, I keep missing your live stream. I keep missing your live stream. So I told her, I said, when you finally make a live stream, I will do a happy dance. And so when she made the live stream, I did a little happy dance. Adam, you do the happy dance, send us the film and I'll play it. How's that? All right. And for anyone who hasn't noticed, I took a piece of fleece today and covered my ironing board with it so that I could have it for this so they weren't sliding constantly. And I made it like a pillowcase so I can just take it on and off. So, all right. Now I can't show you this because, well, maybe I can. All I'm going to do is make this 5 sides. That's all you want. And you can cut it any which way you want for the 5 sides at any angle. Anything will work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's kind of like a house shape. I'm going to bring that down a little bit. I want this a little bit smaller, see? So this is my first piece. And what I did to get ready for this is I got into my strips and I have them in varying widths, as you can see. They're, whoops. Some of them are 2.5 inches. Some of them are 3. Some of them are, whatever. So that's what you want. I mean, could you do them in all the same width? You absolutely could. But because I'm going for the scrappy, homespun, homey look, I'm going all various widths. All right, let's see. Terry says, all my blocks are crazy. Linda is ready. Maxine, you're still not feeling well? Yeah, you do have to keep going, but Mylan, you make sure you get some rest, okay? Don't, Yeah, Wendy, you egg him on. That's what he needs. This guy, he's like a character. He's a character. No, we love Adam. He always shows up for the live streams. Adam, would you please put your link in there to your channel? Anyone new? Anyone who hasn't checked out Adam's channel? You really should. Adam makes a lot of his own clothes. We won't even talk about how I feel about clothes, but I love to see what he makes. And he makes a lot of bags and things. So you definitely should check him out. Every Friday he puts up a video and it's called Friday Sews, and he shows you everything he's been up to. So on top of working, he gets more done in a week than I do in a month. Seriously. And you should check it out. But yeah, Adam, if you would drop your link. Anyone else who has a channel, please feel free to drop your link right in the chat box so everyone can check out your channel. Let's see. Yeah, Terry says, I like that idea, Marie. Adam says, I look wrong dancing. How do you look wrong? Do people just say stop? So Terry, I'm using the leftover scraps from the dresses for a dress. Girl, you are playing my jam, right? Janice says, I like that block. Can't wait to make it. I have made a block similar to this, but I have never thought to start with a focus square. And Rose, her and her hubby are still sick, haven't made block 5 yet, and just watching tonight. That's fine. I hope you feel better, you and hubby, but, you know, you can catch up at any time. Don't push it, okay? Marie's orders. It's kind of like a doctor's orders, only not so serious. All right. Thank you, Adam, for dropping that link. So what I decided to do with all my scraps was I grabbed flowers. So let me grab my pincushion. Gotta have our pincushion. And I'm going to have to turn on some more lights. I don't know what it looks like to you guys, but for me, it is very dull. It reflects off my glasses and drives me crazy. Okay, so you should have 5 sides, and you can do that in any shape, any way you want for your 5 sides. You could angle it more one way or the other. So it doesn't matter where you start, but you need to go around in the same direction. Like if you, wherever you start, I'll show you here in a moment. All right, I'm going to try to put this down so you can see. Can you guys see all right? I hope you can see somewhat. All right, so you need to decide where you want to start, on which edge. So it doesn't matter. I'm going to start with this. See, I'm a little bit past here. I'm going to cut that. And I'm going to lay this right sides together. And I always sew it from this side so that I can see. And you pin or clip. Sew right across there with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. I'm going to get my iron out because we definitely are going to need our iron. Or I do. I know people who finger press this, so you do it however you want to do it. I'm going to press it with my iron. Got to move my sewing stuff around here. I don't like to leave my iron on the ironing board because right there to trip on it, but also because it's just kind of tippy. Okay, I'm going to take this and iron it. Yeah, I'm going to sew it. Oh, I was over here and I forgot to show you guys. Remember how my husband was making these? A few of you bought some. They're just the little boxes like I keep here with all my little, like my presser feet and my snips and all that. Well, he had some extras made, and the other day I got thinking, hey, they're just sitting there, not going anywhere. I'm going to stand my charm packs up in them. But when I went to stand the charm pack up in it, it was just a little bit too narrow, and not by much. So being the sweet guy that he is, I tell him of this problem, and he whipped one up for me yesterday. See? It fits all my charm packs. Isn't that cool? So I had to show you guys that. And I forgot until I got over here and saw it. And you can just use a regular stitch length, whatever you like to use. I'm using a 2.5. And it's not necessary to backtack, backstitch, whatever you want to call it, because you will be going over it with your next seam. And before I forget to say it, just in case she's there or watching on the replay, I want to say hello to my sweet Aunt Gail, who just found my channel recently, and her and my uncle, well, her and my uncle found it, and she has been watching. I just spoke with her a while ago. And she's been watching, even though she isn't a sewer, she likes watching. And I love the thought that she's out there enjoying it and watching and having fun. So I say hello to my Aunt Gail. All right. And I always press, and personally, I press my seams open, but you do whatever you want to do. All right. Did I go too far? Can you see? All right. Now you could use your rotary cutter and your ruler if you wanted to. Personally, I'm not going to because that's straight enough for me. I come from a long line of crazy quilters. My great-grandmother made crazy quilts. Oh, my land, they were beautiful. Just beautiful. My mom still has a few. Okay, so remember how I said you want to remember where you start, because if you start going this way, you need to continue. Or if you go this way, you need to continue. So I'm going to find whatever piece I want to use next, which I think I'm going to brighten it up with a purple. And the thing you want to pay attention to when you're crazy quilting is you've got to remember that you've got that cut. So you always want to go past. So if you're new to it, this is what I would say to do. Let me move this down. I'm going to show you exactly why we would do this. So let's pretend that that's our 1/4 inch, okay? If I don't have this fabric right, I might not have enough of this. So you always want to, if you're new to it, flip it back and make sure, which I guess I can leave this here. That was probably a bad example. But I think you guys get my drift. You can very easily leave yourself too short. Okay, so right sides together. I'm going to press it. I'm going to iron it. And I leave the wrong side facing up so that I can make sure that my seams get sewn correctly and they're not bunched up. Okay, I'm going to take a moment and see what's going on in the chat box. In the chat box, yeah. Let's see. Okay, I had left off. Adam says, I need to make all 6 blocks. Okay, the truth comes out. I need to make all 6 blocks. I promise I will. I'm saving all my scraps. And you have some beautiful scraps. Adam, he kind of likes Tula Pink fabric. Just a little bit, though. It's not anything like overkill. He likes Tula Pink fabric a little bit. Oh, and Kimberly, thank you. I wasn't sure. I don't know if I keep I keep closing my laptop a little bit for that. Adam says, we have a chuckle about the word scraps in an American accent because of the lady on TikTok that was caught eating cake scraps by her grandson. And when he caught her, she said, I'm just eating scraps. I've never heard of cake scraps. I've heard of cake crumbs. See, that's the thing. We all speak English, but it's different. All right. I mean, I get it, but I get why it would be funny, but I just never heard that. How about tidbits? Can we eat those? The scrap snacking granny. Tidbits, scraps, what's names? What is what's names? So Terry says, I hoard Tula fabric. Okay, I have right sides together on my second piece. I'm going to piece that or sew that. And I'm going to close my window blind because it's just getting dark and I don't like it when people can look in. They'll steal all my quilting secrets, all my sewing secrets. Yeah, right. No, I just don't. The minute it starts to lose light, I don't like it because I don't like people seeing straight in. I'm always going around closing the blinds. Okay, and I'm not going to keep, like moving this, but I will the first few times. Okay, so this is how it is. I'm going to go and I'm going to press that so that everything is warm. And then I'll do this and press. And I always press before I cut. Always, always. So I'm going to leave that there. Be seeing nothing. So how many are sewing along with me and how many are watching? Nobody's getting graded for it. I won't kick you out if you're not sewing. Because everybody loves a good chat, right? Everybody loves to chat. And to be honest, normally when I'm sewing by myself, there are many times where I do use my ruler, but because it's angles like this, and actually I think I'm going to for that one. Because I like it nice and straight. All right, let's say who hid my rotary cutter, but I've got it. So this is what I have so far. Let me get my background back. So this was my first, this was my second, so this will be my third. Let's see what I can find. And my grandmother would have said, don't be picky. Okay, see, this is a perfect example of why I said you want to watch this. If you went like this, you might not have enough. You just have to be careful and fold it back if you're not positive. Oops, I guess I should do this the other way because I like to, oh, see, I'm talking and I didn't press my seam open. So let me see what the chat says while I'm doing this. Okay. Adam says you have to have a happy balance of hoarding and using it. And that is funny, but that is true too, because it's always nice to look at the fabric, but you definitely need to use it as well. I want to put this up. I feel silly. Okay, Linda says she's sewing. Wendy is watching. Sylvia is watching. So Terry, my mom taught us to always close the blinds at dark. I never admitted to listening to her until she passed. I listen now. Yeah, well, people can see right in, and because I, like years ago, I'd drive by, just going somewhere at night, drive by, and people would have their blinds open. It's not that they're doing anything; they're like in their living room watching TV, but you can see everything in someone's house. And Laura says she's watching. Donna says, I'm watching to learn to do the block. That's perfect. Janice says, just watching today. Elena says, I'm watching with one arm. Other one is broken. Oh, no. I'm sorry, Elena. That's rough. Audrey says, I'm watching. Sylvia, finished binding a quilt, so now cleaning the space. Hey, you're cleaning. Someone else needs it cleaned. Maybe you guys can work out a deal. I'm teasing. Nancy, I'm cross-stitching because I have signed up for a challenge for the month of October. I have to stitch 30 minutes a day. Well, that's a good motivator. Sylvia, so just watching. Mary L, hello, hello. I am watching, finishing dinner, and she has a lot of scraps. And Terry says, true, Adam, but I can't find the right pattern for a quilt for just me. Kimberly said she's watching too, but the block is intimidating. Adam says, that's a good point. The Flying Geese quilt by Tula is what I'm working on, slowly, slowly. Kimberly says, for some reason, meaning it's intimidating. Terry says, I am watching with a broken foot and a blooming nose, can't shake this upper respiratory. You're still sick with that. I thought maybe it was something different. Marilyn said she's sewing, and Kimberly, or so Terry said, you can do this. Kimberly, I'm going to tell you that I do have a tutorial already on this block. And if I wasn't busy, I would go find the link right now, but you're a smart girl. No, I don't mean it that way. I'm just saying, if you can find it, find it. If you can't, let me know, and I will go get it for you. But it is a crazy block tutorial, and out of all my videos, it is probably the one that has the most views of any video on my channel. Because a lot of people like a crazy block. So I know that during the live stream, things, are kind of hectic, can go in this way and that. So maybe it'd be better where you find it intimidating to just go back and watch the tutorial I have for one. And I think you just go to my channel under the videos and type in crazy block, or in the YouTube search, just put Marie's Scrappy Creations crazy block. But you can definitely do it. And it's such a great scrap buster. Okay, let's do this again. Okay, I have this. This was my first. This was my second. Now my third. I'm going to lay it just past there. Flip it. Hold it while I turn it. Evening up my edges. And in case someone missed it, I did just give it a little spray with some magic sizing because I like to keep everything. I'm going to cut that off a little bit. I like to keep everything starched as I'm going. And I have been making 2 of every quilt block so that I'll have 2 quilts at the end. But this is one that I don't have to make 2 of because those blocks, like I showed you at the beginning, those aren't ones that I personally made. Those are ones I swapped in the quilt swap group I'm part of, which for a while now I haven't been swapping because the last couple of months I've just had so much going on that I took my name off the swapping list. Okay, back to that wallet that I was showing for those of you who were here. I ordered the Chicago screws. I had my son pick up a leather punch for me, so I have that because he works at Harbor Freight, so he was able to pick that up for me. And I have the Chicago screws coming in next Friday, so hopefully I can get that done. I want to get a new wallet all sewn and ready for Friday. And then when the Chicago screws come in the mail, I'll be ready. And all these scraps are going into my crumb bucket. Okay, so this was number 1, number 2, number 3. So here I'm going this way. I want to catch up here. Sylvia says, no neighbor within a mile, and I'm at the end of a road, so no one to see in, no blinds. Well, that would be good, but I'm so used to it that I don't know if I could deal with no blinds. Kimberly, I'm tired today. I'd be tired every day if I lived your life. A rancher. I would think you'd be tired. Adam says, Marie, we were walking home from the pub when we lived in London with a neighbor. There was a house we walked past with the blinds open, and she had decorative plates everywhere in her front room. Yeah, you can see right in. You can absolutely see right in. So Terry says she's still sick. It's upper respiratory, 5 days now. Yeah, because I know you were sick the last time, which I know it's only been 4 or 5 days. Well, I say only because I'm not sick, but no, I meant you were sick when we last did this. Adam says, I pointed this out to my neighbor, and while she was staring in the window, she walked straight into a rail and rolled over the top head first. It was the funniest thing ever. And you guys had already been to the pubs, and this is why you found this hilarious. It's one of those had to be there, but I can kind of picture that. You'll probably never forget that. Kimberly, yes, and I will try and find it. Okay. You know what I'll do is I'll write down and I will drop the link on Facebook because some of the new people might like it too. So I think I'll do that. And I do think I got through to some more people on the Facebook group, by the way. Because many of you know, a lot of people join the Facebook group and they don't know that I have a YouTube channel, and it causes so much confusion. And so today, on top of everything else I've done, today I changed the membership questions. The very first question says, do you understand that this Facebook group follows the YouTube channel called Marie's Scrappy Creations? And then I put something like, I would suggest that you subscribe so that you know kind of what's going on. I didn't say that exactly, but might help. All right. So here, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to go 4. I'm going to go right across here the same way I've been doing. And I am not choosing any specific colors. I purposely picked out all flower scraps since I was putting a flower in the center. I just thought I'd be like that. All right, let's see. Janet says, I can't wait to start these blocks. Still haven't moved into the new house yet? Oh, I thought you'd be in there by now. Yeah, so she doesn't have her sewing machine because she's waiting to move. So that's got to stink. Thank you, Rose. Rose says she loves the flower fabrics. So Terry says, my ex used to say to close the blinds so the neighbors don't see us eating dinner. Oh, my God, really? Crazy family, like they eat dinner? Who cares? Now that's true. That's true. So Terry, Marie, I love making these blocks. It's like FTP, only without the paper and without the pattern. It really is. Wendy asks me if I have used a wool pressing mat. I have not. I have thought about buying one, and I'm going to tell you the reason I have not. So anyone who has one, maybe you can put my fear to rest. I've heard many good things. I've heard that it transfers the heat back to your fabric, so it's kind of like ironing on both sides at the same time. But I have heard people say that they stink. So do they stink? Because I couldn't stand a smell. Like, I just couldn't. So Terry says, I have made a wallet like that many times. Maybe I will commit to grabbing the pattern and making one as well. Yeah, see, I've made wallets and bags and purses. I just never made that one. And it's been a while because you know how you go through cycles of you make certain things and then you don't make them for a while. So yeah, my friend, Nanny B, her and I sat and she makes them a lot and hers are gorgeous. Like, oh, Mylene, you should see all her fabrics. Anyway, so she was working on her wallets, and so she'd say, okay, grab your card slot and do this. And she gave me her hints and tips along the way. So it's not like I couldn't have made it, but it made it so much more fun to have her there with me. And she was like my coach. And I told her, it's like her own little personal YouTube channel. She's teaching me, and I loved it. I enjoyed the company, and I enjoyed the sewing. Okay, Audrey. Wendy, I use a wool pressing mat. And Wendy says, Audrey, I love mine too. Because, I'm sorry. Audrey said, Wendy, I use a wool pressing mat and I love it. And Wendy said she did too. Rose said she bought a wool pressing mat, but it smelled so awful she couldn't see. This is what I'm talking about. Mary L says, I didn't see the wallet. Okay. I won't go through the whole thing, but I made my first NCW necessary clutch wallet, and I didn't have the metal rivet type things for the edge, so I had to sew them. So that's the part I'm unhappy with. But this was my first go at this pattern. Overall, I'm happy, but I'll show you in a second why I'm not. Okay, so that's got 1, 2, 3, and then a zipper, 4, 5 sections. You can fit your phone in. I'm not going to unplug my phone, but you can fit your phone in, and it's got 12. These are card slots. It's got 12, 6 on this side, 6 on this side, and it's got a magnetic closure, and there are different closures you can get for it. My problem was on the sides, okay? So on the sides here, you see all this thickness? My machine did not like that. Now, it went through it without any issue, but it's so hard to sew a straight line. So I ended up with things that look like this. And you can get the rivets or the Chicago screws, and with the Chicago screws, you make a hole, you put it through there, and it holds it together without sewing. So I ordered some, but that's my first NCW. All right, let's see, I gotta catch up again. Laura, what is the Facebook group name? I found you on YouTube. I love Scrappy Quilting. Okay, Laura, it's the same name as this. It's Marie's Scrappy Creations. We do quilting, but it's scraps, just to clarify. The only reason I'm clarifying is I've had a few people get actually angry at me with angry words, and they left because they thought I was a quilting group and how dare I make a bag or something. It's Marie's Scrappy Creations on Facebook and on YouTube, and I make anything out of scraps. I got talked into the quilt along, not that it's a bad thing, but generally I put up a tutorial every week using scraps. And then we do the quilt along is like an extra. But yeah, I've had a couple of people get very angry, and they left because they felt like I somehow lied to them because they thought I was a quilting only group. So I'm just clarifying, not that you said that, I'm just saying, you know. Let's see. And I love scrappy quilting. I'll tell you, Laura, that is my way to go. I would choose a scrappy quilt over any quilt in the world. I just love it. All right, Adam says, I have to love you and leave you. I got to be up in 5 hours. Have a fantastic live, and I'll talk to you soon, Marie. You take care, sweetheart. Thank you for stopping in, and thank you for moderating. I know I put you right to work. You get some sleep, and we'll see you next time. Glenda, hello. She says, I don't think the wool mats stink. I use them at work. And see, that's the thing. People either say that or not. So I wonder if it's different processes that they, like maybe different companies use a different way of treating the wool or something, because I've heard quite a few people say they stink, and I've heard probably just as many say no, they didn't. So I think it's got to be something like that, because there's just so much contention about it. But I have heard that they work really well, whether they stink or not. So, what this is this was one of those tray tables, like not a tray table. It had like a jelly bean. What's in a jelly bean? Jelly bean. A jelly. I can't talk. A bean bag. I don't know what made me think jelly beans, but bean bag. It had like those little pellets, and it was underneath this, so you could set it on your lap and have a little tray. It was longer, and my husband cut it off for me in the size I asked him to, and we covered it with cotton batting that we wrapped around and stapled. This is what it really looks like. And it's got like a decor weight fabric on top. So I've been using that as a small ironing board during my videos if I need a small one. Because generally my ironing board is right here anyway, so I just use this. But it does make it easier when I'm showing you guys something because it kind of has like a background. Anyway. Okay, so here I am. I'm going to cut these off again, just like I did at the beginning. So anyone coming in new will have to rewatch at this point if you're lost. I'm just squaring up. I'm just cutting, squaring up. And you work your way around in the same direction. If you're going clockwise or counterclockwise, it doesn't matter, but you just choose one and stick with it. So I am on my last one for the first round. So I've gone 1, 2, 3, and 4, and here's my last one. And what we'll do is we're going to keep going until we reach, so that when we measure something that we can cut 12.5 inches out of, because that's our block size, 12.5 inches. Speaking of that, I had a couple of people let me know that the blocks weren't coming out to 12.5 inches. Now, I haven't had that problem. I'm just wondering if any of you did. One person had messaged me the other day and said that on the last block, in order to get the 12.5 inches, she had to do a scant 1/4 inch. Now, I really don't know, other than to guess that maybe, I don't know. I use a 1/4 inch foot, and I'm sure that these people are saying they're using a 1/4 inch foot. I don't think they're telling me stories. I don't mean that. But I think sometimes we put our fabric to the edge of the foot, and sometimes we might have it a little bit over or under, possibly. That's all I can guess, because they all did measure for me at 12.5 inches. So I'm interested if any of you had any issues with that. And had any problems at all. I hope not. I'm going to bring this over here so I can watch and see all the comments while I'm ironing. Okay. Audrey says hers doesn't stink. Laura loves her wool mat. Adam was leaving, saying goodbye. So Terry says, my daughter just visited from Texas, and she simply said, where are they? And I knew she meant all the bags that I had been making and storing. So she went shopping for the family back home. Brat. You don't mind though, do you? You let her take it. I know. I know. It's always good to gift things out. Maxine says, I love making crazy quilts. Usually have a set picture in the center. That's what I like to do too. Last was nature things, and I have a crazy cat one for me. Hey, that's cool. You know, I have one that I'm working on. Now, I've been doing this swap on my group, and what's great is I'm going to make the quilt with 12 blocks, and there's going to be a theme. Like March will be shamrock, leprechauns. It will be whatever holiday or theme for that month. So it will be like a quilt of the year, for lack of a better word. But I think that would be kind of cool to do that. I really do. Just a different, January would have to be like snowmen or something. February would be Valentine's Day, March would be St. Patrick's Day, April could be like April showers or umbrellas or something like that, and so on. And that's what I want to finish up working on. But yes, I understand that, Maxine. I love a crazy quilt. And a crumb block. Oh, a crumb block. Okay, so this is what mine's looking like. It looks like a house, but I'm going to keep going because now I have to go right here. So let's see. And this is my one constant for anyone joining us. I have 2 of these quilts going, and one of them, of course, they're both Scrappy, but in each block on one of my quilts, I'm using the same fabric, and this is it. So this is going to be the only one in here that's not flowered. Well, I guess it does. It does have flowers in the paisley. So that's too close to the blue. I'll have to wait on that. My idea on that is that it will kind of pull everything together, pull those scraps together. Because we have so many different blocks going, it's going to be busy. So I thought that possibly by adding one fabric the same in each block, that maybe it would give something constant to the quilt. Okay. So Terry says, I can't handle wool. I can't imagine wet or damp wool not having an odor. Yeah, and I use steam. So see, that's what I wonder too. Wendy says, I covered mine with a cloth and it works great. Also bought mine from a horse catalog. Got 4 of them for a price that I would have paid for one at a fabric store. I've never heard of that. That's a great idea, Wendy. Kimberly says, I want to purchase a wool pressing mat. That way I don't have to keep jumping up to iron. And so Terry says she thinks she made the same wallet I did. Elena says, I think when you get a new wool mat, it might need to air out a bit from packaging. That's possible. Sylvia, that's my thought. Different brands, they might, their manufacturing process might be different. And, maybe there's something they can do to, tamp the smell down some, and maybe some companies do it and some don't, possibly. There's so many possibilities. I think we need to put someone on the job to find this out. Inquiring minds want to know. But yeah, for anyone where this is going too fast or you just want to take another look, there is in fact, I'm going to go grab that link right now, and I will still drop it on the Facebook group. But I'm going to grab that link. Okay, there's that. So Kimberly or anyone else that needs it, there's the link, and I will still drop it on the Facebook group. I tried to make a really quick, well, I'm not going to call it a supper. That would really be stretching to say that I made supper tonight. But I saw this thing. I know I got to stay off TikTok. No, I was on TikTok the other day, and you know how it just kind of goes to the next video. It was using those canned biscuits, which I'm not saying I'm a fan, but you use like one of those, the ones that have all the layers, like the Grand's biscuits or whatever. And you take some of the layers apart of the biscuit, lay them out, and you can put like pepperoni and cheese, ham and cheese, of course with some sauce or something too. See how nice this is coming out? Now I'm going to trim these edges even with this, just for anyone who might be joining us. So I would kind of put the biscuit down and flatten it down. Put a little bit of sauce, a little bit of mozzarella cheese, a little bit of cut up pepperoni, and then put another layer of the biscuit on top there and crimp the edges like you would a pie. Yeah. You know what I just did? I sewed where I shouldn't. So now I need to take out my stitches because I was not paying attention. Seam ripper to rescue. Okay, it will give me some time to catch up on the chat. Okay. I've got to go back up. Denise, I'm sorry I missed saying bye. I hope you have a great night and thank you so much for dropping in. Well, you'll hear this on the replay. You have a great night. So Terry says, I bet the wool mat is a regional thing. I actually haven't thought about that, I suppose. And isn't there different kinds of wool too, like from different sources? Like how is it sourced, I guess is what I'm saying. Hello, Dawn from Florida. Are you wet? How is your area? How hard hit were you? I'm glad you're here. That means you're okay. Okay, Donna says they do stink that if they get wet, you can't get them wet. If you do, the smell doesn't go away. So does that include steam, Donna? Because I use a lot of steam. And that's interesting. That's the first time I've heard that. So Janice says, my wool pressing mat doesn't smell. I heard that using steam can cause it to smell. Well, there, that answers my question. You can use a spray water bottle. Yeah, see, I can't do that. I can't get the same effect. So it's probably not going to be for me. Mary L., you're very welcome. I don't mind showing you at all. You're very welcome. Did you see the tote bag? Were you on here when I show the tote bag? It's the tutorial for today. So it came out about an hour and a half before this live stream started. The tutorial was out for the tote bag. But if you didn't see it, I would give you a quick peek. Okay. Yeah, it is a bit thick, Mary. And, you know, it's one of those things where I think the screws or the rivets are actually are absolutely the answer to that issue. Because my sewing machine sewed through it. That wasn't the problem. It was trying to get it straight because you've got that wedged and you folded it over and there's just, you're on uneven territory. There's no easy way to go. There just is not. Mary L says she makes bags, quilts, and things. Terry's going to be right back. Maxine, I sew over every block with crochet cotton or DMC thread by hand using different colors and usually a blanket stitch, all before I join the blocks. Well, that's interesting. I don't know if I have ever seen that done. I did see someone put embroidery floss in their bobbin on a video the other day and sew with it. And I can't remember exactly how it was done. I was going to try to remember it. Lorraine. Hello, Lorraine. We got our wool mat from Wish site for a fraction of the price, and it is identical to the one sold here for big money. See, I've never ordered anything from Wish. Someone, and it doesn't matter who told me, but you never know what opinion you're going to get from this person is all I will say. They told me that everything on Wish was junk and it was just a place to sucker in teenagers to spend their money. Now, you know, I'm taking it from where it comes, which is why I said it the way I did. So I don't know whether I would imagine that it's like a lot of things. You're going to find people who will overprice anything and not feel bad about selling it to you. And so if you got the same thing and you're happy with it, then that's all that matters, I would say. Two. Yeah, see, I went in the wrong direction because I started here. So I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, because I was talking, I went and I sewed over here when I actually am just, I need to keep in this direction. So the next time you guys just holler at me and say, stop. You're welcome, Kimberly. Thank you, Terry. I appreciate that. And Nancy, thank you. Looking cute. You know, I have not ever had a crazy block that I disliked. I have liked them all, every single one. But thank you for that. Maxine says, sometimes I machine stitch every piece in block. Yeah, absolutely. And Terry says, I make those as well, especially for parties. Make a tray. You can warm them in the oven. Well, I'll tell you, I need some experience because what happened is I've never made them before, never tried them before. And I put a little bit of pizza sauce in the pepperoni and cheese one. And little bit being the operative word, they were very dry. So I learned my lesson. Before I put this next scrap in, I have to show you guys. You know, there's fabric and then there's something that really catches your eye. Well, I had this. These are my fabric scraps from that My Fabric Addiction 1 site, Kimberly's site there. And these are the scrap packs, the Scrappy strip packs. Well, I was looking through these to get a couple because I had, out of my scraps, I had certain colors of the flowers, but I wanted a few darks. And I saw this and I'm like, I love it. Now I'm going to hold this up. And I don't know if you guys will be able to see how pretty the print is, but I think it's a digital printed fabric. But it is gorgeous. The flowers, the color on the fabric or the color on the flowers is just wonderful. And the fabric feels like such good quality fabric. I'm totally in love with this. All right, I'm going to stop talking for a minute, make sure I'm going the right way. Yeah. So that is going on this quilt because I love that piece of fabric. Love, love, love. But I'll tell you, I told Kimberly, the woman, not the Kimberly on here, but the Kimberly that runs that fabric shop. Or maybe I didn't tell her, come to think of it. But anyway, a person could buy those strip packs that she sells as scraps, and you could make a whole crazy quilt out of them. Like just make a whole crazy quilt because the variety of colors and everything. Okay, I need to catch up big time here. Okay. Wendy says she uses steam. And, okay, and you have the cover. I wonder if that's what the difference is, Wendy. I wonder if that's it. I wonder. Okay, Terry, the tote bag tutorial. Thank you so much. Is that for the new one from today or the one from when I first started? But thank you for dropping the link. Yeah, that new tutorial I made today, of course, it had the magnetic clasp and it had the made with squares instead. I almost made a video today just to throw it out there in chat and ask you guys some questions, but like I have some things I'm really not sure what to do about. Now I'm making these 2 autumn bags. I don't know why I'm making them. I already have one. And this happens to me all the time. And I made it a rule on my Facebook group that there is no selling, no buying and selling. So I can't go on my own site and break my rule. And plus, I really don't want to sell on that group simply because there's enough to do there already. And I don't get enough stuff all at once to sell to make it worth like doing Etsy or something like that. But I never know what to do when I have things for sale. Because I've had some of you guys say, you message me and say, are you selling that? And I'll say yes or no. I mean, I throw it out there. But like right now, I have some things I want to sell, but I don't know how to go about it. Because like I said, there's no sense in me getting an Etsy site just to sell a few things or, the things that my husband has made up or whatever. So I would take any ideas, thoughts on that you may have, and I will take them into consideration. Because like these bags, I gotta go gifting this to someone. But I still have another one, even if I do gift this, which I don't know. And then I have these. My granddaughter wanted one set of that, and then I've got those 2. So it's not like I have a bunch right here, but I still have stuff left from the craft fair too. So I don't know what I want to do. I thought about, just saving it for the craft fair, but I don't like having everything sitting around the apartment either. Okay, so here I go. I love that fabric. I love the way that that went in there. So now I'm going to try a wire strip because I want to work that out. You see how this is a little narrow? So I'm going to use a wider strip coming this way. Oh, that might be a good place for this lavender one that I need to fit in there. And when I sit down, I will catch up on the chat. Oh, hey, Nanny, you're here. Hey, I was talking about you, and it was all bad. I'm teasing. I was talking about my wallet. A hexagon as the center. I have not, Elena. I usually just cut a 5-sided, whatever sometimes my fabric will barely afford me the ability to trim it enough, if that makes sense, into the 5-sided, but I haven't, but that's probably a good idea. That is gorgeous, isn't it, Terry, Kimberly, Laura, Elena, Nancy? I think it's what they call a digital print. Now that I know Nanny B is here, she would be more the expert on that. Nanny, did you see the fabric that I'm talking about? If you did not, I will show it again. Caught my pin and it was pulling along here. Let's see. Colleen, hello. Hello, Marie and everyone. Got my thumbs up in, and we'll be back after my shower for the replay. Thank you. Have a great evening. Well, thank you for dropping in. I appreciate that. And Patricia, I arrived late. We'll have to come back later to watch from the beginning. Absolutely. You can stick around now and then come back, or just come back, but whatever you want to do. Whatever you are more comfortable with. Thank you very much. So Terry says from today, Marie. Okay, thank you very much for dropping that link. You know, it's funny because at the beginning of today's tutorial, I said, I'm not going to go over every step of this bag because I already made a tutorial. I went over every step. Of course I did, because I feel like if I leave it out, some people might not go back and watch. Facebook Marketplace. That is a thought. That is a thought. I hadn't really thought about Marketplace. Of course, then I have to deal with people. I can't just put it in the mail. You guys think I'm a people person? No, I am. I love people. I'm just not. But yeah, I hadn't really thought about Marketplace for crafts. I could do that because I guess there's a million ways to go about it. A million. Oops. Let's see. Audrey says post it on Facebook and make it shareable. We can share the post with someone, can contact you to buy it. That's a good idea, Audrey, but that doesn't work for me because my Facebook group, number one, I don't allow any selling, even myself. And number two, because it's a private Facebook group, none of the posts can be shared. So I can't, but thank you. I appreciate. Laura says, got to run. We'll finish on replay. Thank you, Marie. You're welcome, Laura. Thank you so much for dropping by. We're glad that you made your first live stream. I hope you have a good night. Well, hello, Stella Ann. I waved to you too. Hello, hello. Nanny B, your wallet turned out beautifully. Sorry I'm late. Yep, it's digital. Well, thank you for your kind words, even though I know it's far from perfect, but I still love it because we did it together and we had fun. So, and you probably could have sewn 4 in the time it took me to do 1. But, you know, it's like with anything, you know, the first time it's just going to be hit or miss. And like I told them earlier, I already knew before I made it that I was going to, it was going to be trial and error with the fusibles and everything. I already knew that going in, that I wasn't going to be 100% happy. But the only way to know what we want is to try it with what we don't want. So there's that. But I definitely think the foam for the flap is the way to go. But I definitely need something different for the interfacing. So for anyone wondering what I used in that wallet, there were quite a few YouTubers and bloggers who said to use SF101 and Pelon 987, both of which I had. So I used it. But it needs more substance for me. I just want it. I want that flat. I want this flat part firmer. See how it's fairly flexible? I want it thicker. I want it to feel ritzier, if that's the right word. I don't know. Okay. Oh, well, hello, Carol. Is this your first live stream? Hello, hello. We're working on a crazy block. Of course, at this point, you'll probably have to catch the replay, but I also have a tutorial out there on my YouTube channel. Oh, well, of course, I'm on my YouTube channel. I have one out there. Look how perfect this is for this. For anyone just tuning in, I do have my little square thing here. I'm just kind of tired of digging it out, but I'll show you what my block is looking like at this point. I sewed this fleece cover for this because normally every time I show this, it just slips down. All right. So this piece is just about right, and that's going to go here. Working my way around. And then when I get close and I measure it and know that I have 12.5 inches, I have a cutting mat that is like a Lazy Susan. So it's a rotating cutting mat. And our daughter got that for me a few Christmases ago. Best thing ever because it really, it's right here. I don't know if you've ever seen one, but I keep my 12.5-inch ruler right with it. But it slides, it turns so that you can, without turning your fabric and losing where your square was, you can turn your piece because I can't really flip. I mean, I guess I could. This is the best setup I've had so far. But when I was downstairs in the dining room, I couldn't turn my cutting mat. I didn't have space. So that worked out really well. Nancy, I wonder if you could make that wallet with cork fabric. I probably could, but whether or not my machine would sew through it, Nancy, that would be the question. But it would certainly be beautiful. I've seen people make it out of a lot of different non-cotton fabrics and with beautiful results. Bozo foam. Elena, that is the brand that I was going to look into. I just don't know what thickness or what product number, I guess for lack of a better term, to try. But I think, I have to start somewhere. I'll try. I'll purchase one and it will be trial and error. But yeah, I probably will go with the Bozo. Oh, Carol, that's sweet. I'm glad you found me. Elena, I knew what you meant, and I know how autocorrect works, so no worries. Cardboard for, you lost me, sorry. So Terry says, yes, I use Bozo. I don't use fusible. If you want to fuse it, make sure it is single-sided fusible. They have double too. Yeah. Well, I'm going to tell you what I told Nanny this morning. I am not a fan of fusible fleece. It has its place, and you probably can't see it, but there's almost, it's not a ripple, it's just a weird looking texture to the fabric. If I were doing a bunch of quilting on something, I don't mind using the fusible, like on this tote bag, okay? Now, and this wasn't even close quilting. I quilted on the seam lines and I quilted at 2 1/4 inches. And that's enough. I can use this fusible fleece and it won't bother me. But on other items where they're not quilted, I'm just not a fan of fusibles. So I definitely think I'm going to try the non-fusibles. Because I bought a bolt of the SF, or the SF. Yeah, I just bought a bolt of the SF-101 actually anyway, but I bought a bolt of the Pellon 987 and what's the other Pellon I bought? It is a bolt even though it's, 987 and 973. 973. The 973 is a little bit heavier weight than the 987, and possibly in that wallet it might work out all right. I don't know. I used some of the craft fuse on my card slots. I used the 808. Boy, doesn't take me long to make a mess in here, guys. I dig everything out. It's like a little kid having their friends into their playroom going, look, I got a new fire truck. Look, I got a new doll. Showing you guys everything, and I'm digging everything out, leaving a mess. One of you guys will come over and help me clean, though, right? I'll provide snacks, and we don't really have to clean. We can just hang out. Wouldn't that be fun? Okay. I did something here, and my cord to my iron is all tight, so I've got to get over here and fix this. There we go. Okay, if anyone is stitching with me, I'd be curious as to where you are, although I do know that most of you are watching, and I understand that. I gotta do less talking, more sewing here, because I'm slowing down here. Keep on trucking. That's a good idea, Terry. So you put the fusible on there. See, I heat it and then I can pull it off because that's what I do if I get it placed wrong. I have never heard of doing that. That is nice. Okay, and then this is cardboard for the wall or for the faux leather. I've never thought about that actually, Elena. Never thought about it. Let me see. The next thing I wanted to say about this is you feel free to repeat your fabrics in this if you want to. I sometimes do, especially if it's a fabric that I used when I first started to go around, like in my first round. Okay, see, I have this one here, that little piece, and that's what I'm using here. You could get technical and not repeat anything, but I don't personally think it's a big deal. I'm gonna read comments a little less close together because I've got to get my sewing done. It's like talking in class. I'm going to get sent to the principal's office. Who's the principal? Terry is on round 4. I bet you are. I'm the one doing all the talking here. I can't, as they say, walk and chew gum. I'm not that talented. Deborah will come help me clean for snacks. Well, that's a deal right there. I'm telling you. That is a great deal. I need a nice wide strip of something. Oh, look. Can I make it fit? I think I can. This will be almost the last piece of this fabric, and I bet I've had this 12 years easy. Easy. Oh, it's going to be close. It's going to be close because I have to I have to figure for the flip, make sure that it fits in there right. And boy, it's going to be close. But it will work. I have confidence in myself. I'll pat myself on the back. Oh. So yesterday I said to my husband, I'm coming up on 3,000 subscribers, or the day before yesterday. I said I was going to do a drawing at 2,000 and it never happened because I think I got sick or something. So anyway, I said, I'm going to have to do something at 3,000 subscribers. And I got up this morning and I was at 3,000 subscribers. I was like, I'm so excited because I'll tell you though that those leaf pot holders, like that video took off. It reached a lot of people. And I went on YouTube and I looked for similar videos. I found one. And the person making it did a perfectly good job of making them, but there wasn't a lot of detail in them, I guess would be, I probably tell too much detail, but I'd rather tell too much and have people fast forward to get to the part they want to be at than to tell too little and have a person who wants to make them not understand how to make them. So, but anyway, the leaf potholder tutorial really went crazy. And the last time that this happened, where I had a video do that, it was for the crazy block. And that's why I said earlier, it's the crazy block is, I would, without looking, I can almost say without question that it's the most popular video that I have. And it hasn't been up long enough to be a close second, but I'm betting that that leaf, this one, is going to be a close second to this. I keep moving all my stuff around and I can't find stuff. I thought Deborah hid my ruler when she was here. And I'm going to check and see where I am. I can give you a hint. Because when you get to this point, and if you have one of these rulers and you set it on there, you'll be able to see that there's some sections you don't need to keep going on. You just need to go in the areas where you're missing, okay? So that's what I'm going to start doing. So then I only have 3 sides. Okay, let me catch up really quick. Thank you, Jeanette. I know less than a month ago I was at 2,000 because I was going to do a drawing for 2,000 and that just a month later I'm at 3. It was crazy. Thank you, Rose. Hey, Beverly, how are you? Came in late. We'll watch the replay. That's fine. That's fine. We're glad you stopped in. Hello. Guess who, Nancy? Guess who? It's Nancy. Glad you stopped in. Marilyn says, I have sewn 3 complete rounds with 15 pieces. Still can't cut a 12-inch square. It is so out of shape. Okay, well, that's just what I was talking about right here, Marilyn. So, like I said, I'm going to show it on this. So see how oddly shaped this is? Okay, so let me put my 12-inch square on it. I'm actually going to lay this down a different way. You can call me Fumbleina. I'm going to try placing this down. All right. So when I have my 12.5-inch ruler on here, okay, you see here I've still got edge, okay? So the only places I need to put any more pieces are here, here, and here. Okay, so just ignore those 2 sides. That's what I'm going to do. Ignore these 2 sides. So depending on what you have, Marilyn, you're going to ignore some parts and concentrate on others. Does that make sense? I hope. Let me know. I love to make you smile, Nancy. I love to make everyone smile. You guys are awesome. Absolutely awesome. Oh, that's nice and bright. Let's use that. Let's use that. Which one did I say? I just showed everyone and I forgot which one I said not to sew on. Okay. I do not need to sew on my lavender or my blue. In fact, I'm going to put pins there because I'm just that numb that I will say it and then forget it. So I'm going to mark it with a pin so I know better than to touch it. But Marilyn, you must be skating right along. You're way ahead of me. Oh, and here's another fabric that I absolutely love. This is a little thinner, but gorgeous. Isn't that pretty? And that reminded me of a fabric that I have here that Nanny sent to me from Australia. And I've only used a little piece of it, but oh my land, I love this fabric. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? And I never used to be much one for yellow, but oh, it's so bright and pretty. Okay, I know. I gotta get back to my block. I was thinking I have a whole stack of crazy blocks, and boy, a quilt makes a nice Christmas gift. So you put those two thoughts together, and I think you know where I'm going with that one. And Lisa Marie Esposito, my right hand, was not able to be here this evening. Her evenings, her and her husband spend time together, and that's good. That's all fine. I really, really need to make these at a different time. I keep saying I'm going to, and I mean to, and then it doesn't work out. But I do need to do a morning one so that I give everyone a chance to do the live streams. Because it's only fair. So this coming Wednesday, we're going to have our drawing for our Creative Word of the Day winner. And who will it be this month? Who? All right, let's see. This one is next. I'm just scooting right along here, folks. Get her done. Oh, I guess I have to iron my seams correctly. Check up on the chat while I'm doing this. Oh, Kimberly, do you mean the 12.5-inch ruler or the Lazy Susan cutting mat? Both of which are very cool. I need to get a new ruler. I have one that's 8.5 inches by 24, and I use it all the time, but I also drop it, and I also have edges that aren't quite straight anymore because I've either nicked them with the rotary cutter or dropped them. You notice I've said drop them. I could say butterfingers 40 times a day. Okay, let's see. So Terry says, I started squaring up. Mine need to finish at 12.5. Yeah, that's what I do too, is 12.5. Okay, I need another piece. And you know what? I'm going to go with this digital print because I love it. Even though I already have it in there once, I'm going to go again. All right, where did I hide my ruler this time? I keep misplacing my stuff. I've got an awful mess going here. Oh yeah, that's a beautiful place for that digital print. I wanted to work it in there again, and I definitely am. In a way, I hated to use it because it's so pretty. I have a friend that's been saying, oh, look at this. It's a digital print. Look at this. And I'm like, I'm jealous. But now I see what she means. These digital prints are gorgeous. I mean, They just are. They make all the difference. All the difference. Anyone else? I know that there's a few on Facebook who have told me, but anyone else here making 2 quilts of this sampler beginner's quilt with me? I know I'm making 2. I'll be curious just to see, because of the different fabrics and the different layouts, because of course I won't put them all in the same order. I want to see how 2 quilts made out of the same exact blocks done in different fabrics and different layout, how different they really look. I think that will be interesting all by itself. Okay, the clear one, Kimberley says. Yeah, that's a 12.5 inch. The only part I don't like is I don't like that the 1/2 inch is orange. And I know that they made it that way for a reason, but I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. But if I couldn't complain about that, I would find something else to complain about. Yeah, when I got the Lazy Susan cutting mat, I didn't even have it a week when I dropped it. And when I dropped it, I cracked the side and it almost peels off. When that cutting mat stuff cracks, which it rarely does, but leave it to me, I went to see if it was going to go back there. And it was like, I don't know, I'd have to show you. It kind of peeled off there. It's like, yikes, don't like that. It was a bit chilly here today. We didn't hit 60 degrees. I think our high was like 52 degrees here today. We had a frost this morning. I looked out in the parking lot and all the cars were covered in frost this morning. I'm running out of room. I've got so much junk here. Well, not junk, but so much fabric. A little bit left of that digital print, and I am going to contact Kimberley and see if she has any more of that in yardage, because I love that. I definitely love that. I would love to make a purse out of that. I love that fabric. In case you didn't know, I really liked it. I've got to see where I am, where I need fabric. Okay, I think 4 more pieces and I will be done. I remember the first time that I came up against what happened to Marilyn, where I was out of shape, because it happens less often when you're using, or it doesn't happen as drastically when you're using the same size, like if you were using all 2.5 inch width. It happens. It just doesn't look as drastic as it can when you're using varying widths. And as well as if you had a preset ruler you were using. And those things are all great and fine, but I'm old school and I like to have it look really scrappy, very unplanned, old-fashioned, whatever the word would be. I like to go old school. And then tomorrow I have making one of these wrist pin cushions. I had a subscriber message me last week and asked me if I would make her one. And I had a couple I was going to make anyway, so I'm going to probably cut those out tomorrow. Just one, Terry says. You don't want to do this 5 times over now. Come on. And then Deborah says, has anyone used fleece instead of batting? And if so, is it any good? I will leave that up to, I've never used it. So I rarely use fleece. I don't like fleece because I have really dry skin. And if I touch fleece, it's not a good feeling for me. And anyone who may have missed it earlier on in the video, I mentioned it as well as I did mention it the other day. Today's video tutorial for the first time dropped in the afternoon. Well, not for the first time ever, but for the first time since I started scheduling them to drop at 5 a.m. I'm trying out a new schedule where they drop in the afternoon at 4 p.m. on Sundays. Oh, and you know what I love? When I get this all done, I'm going to be lopping off big sections. Those are great for the fabric postcards. Just saying. Just saying. Okay. Figure out where I want these. Well, my sewing room looks like lightning struck it. It really and truly does. All right, I'm going to sew these 2 pieces and then I'll come back and measure because I've still got one corner that I know needs to be done. And the other thing, if you lop these off, the other thing they're good for is if you make crumb blocks. They're pre-made. You just throw them into the next section of crumb blocks that you do. Everybody's either very busy working or watching me, and I haven't said much. I'm trying to concentrate because I'm so far behind. Let's see. Rose says, I'm making some extra blocks and plan to make the quilt larger. Will that work? It'll absolutely work. It sounds perfect, Rose. Absolutely perfect. And of course, you could always add blocks that are 12.5 inches too. Let's see, Elena, it is sunny and 81 here in Texas. Lows are getting around 60s. And I suppose 60 for you guys is quite cool. Donna says, that block is looking really nice. Can't wait to make one after the show, and I'll get the rest of the blocks too. That's awesome, Donna. Glad. And make sure, I would love to see them on Facebook. We always love to see everyone's blocks. Well, hello, Celeste. Welcome to the live stream. We're glad that you were able to make it. We're almost done. It's looking towards the end here, but you can catch the replay. Always, you can catch the replay later on. But we're glad that you made it. And you are very welcome. I'm glad that you like my content. Elena says our church quilt group sometimes uses fleece for backing or in place of batting. It's good for quilts that we give away. I bet it is. And thank you for your answer to her question. Let's see. Sewing with Luann. Well, hello. First time for you in a live stream. We're glad you dropped by. We're getting close to done. Because I'm running on 2 hours. I know I'm over 2 hours actually, but I always start like 15 minutes before the actual time. And then we didn't get started on our quilt block until about 15 minutes after the start time. So I'm bad. I know I'm bad. But we get chatting. Who doesn't like to chat? Okay, so I'll come over here in just a second, show you guys what I have. I'm very close to done. I will square this off or cut these two pieces off and then show you what I have because I've got one, maybe two pieces left and I can square my block. All right, now I have the safety pins here because those were the corners that I was saying I didn't need to add any more to them. All right, so let's see what I have. I need one piece right here. Am I going to make it? Let me see. I am. I need one piece and not very big, but one piece right there. Wendy says heavy frost for us tonight. Wendy, we must be going to get it because you're just 40 miles from me. And I am so curious after I chatted with you the other day, I wondered like what year you graduated or if I knew you back in the day, you know, because it's not like the high school we went to was that big. We may know each other and just not realize it. Okay. Need to place this and see where I need that. Yeah, because depending on how I turn that piece, that ruler, I can fit that in there pretty easily. So this is my last piece to sew. Let's see if I can read the chat while we're doing this. I didn't mean to. There we go. Hi. Okay. Elena, it's been so dry and hot this year. Amy, well, hello and good evening. She says, good evening from Austin, Texas. Late, but glad to pop in. We're glad that you dropped in. Usually I don't run this long, but I have been talking a lot. They made me do it. You don't know what this group is like. I'm teasing. We have a lovely group. We do. And we are making a crazy quilt block tonight, just in case you're wondering. Some are watching, some are sewing. And Deborah says, OMG, it is so cold in Rhode Island. I'm sitting under a quilt and a cup of tea. So what is your temperature? I'm curious. Marilyn says, done. The last piece was less than an inch. Thanks, Marie. That was fun. I'm glad you liked it, Marilyn. And it's funny because you asked that question about it all being kind of out of shape, what to do. At the same exact time, I was running into the same issue. All right. So I just need to finish pressing and I'm going to cut it. I'll show you guys how I cut it, but unfortunately I don't think I can wrangle my camera angle to actually show me doing it. but I'm sure you get the drift. But before I cut, and I guess this is a little late for Marilyn, but I always give it a good spray with my handy dandy magic sizing. No steam. And I give it a press because, for anyone wondering, it kind of stiffens the fabric up a little bit so that when you put your ruler on top, it stays in place. It does less shifting. And you know, overall, it just works out better. I always do this with my blocks because I'm going to be using sashing when I place these together, when I make the quilt. And it makes that part nicer too. So I can take my safety pins out, you know. So I always use sizing, not that you have to. I'm just throwing that out there as a hint, a tip. And you know, years ago when I first started with quilting, boy, do I wish I would have known about the sizing or starch, because oh my land, that would have made my life so much easier. I can remember having to take out stitches just constantly because I was new. You know, I didn't really pay attention to the things that I should. All right, now I need to move all my extra stuff so that I can turn this lazy Susan. Because she's lazy and she does not move on her own. Okay. Let's see. Starting with Luann, 67 here in San Francisco with the ceiling fan on. Yeah, we didn't quite get that warm here today. Luann, you were about 10 degrees higher than we are, but I would have the ceiling fan on too. Wendy graduated in 75. I was in 82, but I bet we know a lot of the same people. Thank you for that. Kimberley has to go eat supper. Thanks again for a great live. I appreciate all you do for us. Well, I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you, Kimberley. You have a great night. Thanks for dropping by. And I know you can do this block. You can. Amy says it's 83. Thank you for that. And Marilyn, it was perfect timing. Deborah says 51 degrees. Nancy, we guess that she is at, I know, I'll stop. I promise I'll stop. It's 73. Elena says, how big is your lazy Susan? It wouldn't let her. It held her comment for review because she asked how big my lazy Susan is. I'm either tired or that's just way too funny. The lazy Susan is 12 inches, but overall it's about 13 because it has an edge. But thank you for the question, but that just kills me that they held that for review. I just find that hilarious. Okay, I've got to move everything to the side so that I can turn this. All right, and I'm going to show you what I can. Whoops. Well, it's not going to stay. I center it on there however I want it. I'm going to try to turn this so that you guys can see. Let me see here. I need a new stream. All right. Now, yes, I have a center, but that does not mean that it can't be over here or over here. I did start with a fussy cut. And I'll tell you that I always cut that extra because when I turn, I don't want anything there. So you just turn Turn your Lazy Susan, and then you don't have to shift your fabric. But look at these nice pieces for crumb blocks or anything, the fabric postcards, a zippered bag, a tote bag, anything at all. Personally, I love those great big pieces like that, and I love finding new uses for them. Last cut. Okay, I'm going to lay it out on my green board. I'm going to put the camera angle back up. Now, isn't that a beautiful block? I love crumb block or crazy blocks. I honestly do. There's something about every single one. Everyone is different. No two are the same. So even if you were sewing out of the same stash of strips and pieces, you wouldn't have two the same unless you really planned it. And then that would be difficult, wouldn't it? All right, let's see. I have to catch up. Rose, I'm making a different scrap quilt. Also, I plan to just sew those blocks together. Do I have to do a sashing on a scrap block quilt? You do not. You can go either way. If you want to separate them out so that they all highlight, you certainly could, Rose, but you don't have to. The scrappier quilts actually, to me, look better without sashing, but if you want to distinguish them, you certainly could. I've gone either way, and they both look good, so I'm trying to have an opinion, but I really don't. That is crazy, Terry. Isn't that crazy? It's just cray. Nancy, you love my laugh. Well, thank you. And Terry's using the exact same Lazy Susan. Maybe you know the answer to my question. Is there a larger one? Because I was expecting that this would be about 15 inches to give you a little bit of room on a 12.5-inch block. It really doesn't leave you much room. 66 in Southern Indiana. Elena, oh no, I know, right? It's censored. How big is your Lazy Susan? I'm going to laugh about that for days, if not longer. Okay, here, I got to catch up again. Where am I? One of my cousins' names is Susan, and she always was asked just how lazy was she. I guess having one of those names, it's just bound to happen. It's just what it is. Oh, hi, Marie. I didn't know you were here, and thank you. Thank you, Carol. Nancy, thank you so much for dropping in, and you have a great evening, too. Elena says, lovely. Deborah says it came out gorgeous. Rose says, beautiful block. Nanny B says, ooh, Marie, it's gorgeous. Only that's with an Australian accent that I just love. Just love, love, love. Celeste, hello. Lovely block. Very inspirational. Thank you all. Jan, I've been watching all along, but I started my block. Yours is just beautiful. Thank you. And anyone who hasn't already, if you could give the thumbs up, but it looks like a lot have. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Terry, I've never seen a larger one either, but don't you find that kind of odd? Or is it just me? You're very welcome, Rose. Donna says, very nice. Love the colors and prints. Thanks for a fun evening. Have a good night. Looking forward to the next video. You're welcome, Donna. You have a great night. There was a video right before this live stream. I put one out at 4, but you'll see me again Wednesday, if not before. Marie, Elena, mine is 14 or 14 and a half. And Elena says, I've seen 14-inch spinning mats. That's good to know. I have not, so I definitely need to go on. Nanny B says, I've got laundry beeping at me to be hung out. Thank you for sharing another beautiful block with us. You're welcome. Okay, everyone, it's been a long one. Thank you for hanging out. I'm going to get going. Thank you to all the new people who dropped by. Lovely block. We love our craziness. We love our scraps. I'll see you next time right here at Marie's Scrappy Creations. I can't find my mouse. Have a great night, everyone. Who blocked you, Terry? Did I? What? Oh, I see. Elena, Amazon has big as a. I see what you're saying, Terry. You must have tried to say something that they didn't like. See you later, Terry. Marie, mine is Fiskars. Got it on Amazon. Good night. Elena says 18 inches. Richard, hello, Richard. Found 18-inch one on Amazon. And Terry says, stop. I can't stop, Terry. I can't. How big is your lazy Susan, Terry? I promise I'll be good. I won't say it again. Ta-ta for now, Elena. Thank you, Terry. Post your block. Yes, Richard, hi and bye. We're on our way out. Thank you, everyone, for showing up. We had a great time. And no, Dave's not here, man. All right. Terry, you need to be good. You're bad influence, I tell you. Bad influence. Thank you, Luane. I am really far from a Joanne fabric, but I appreciate that. Thank you, Maxine. Amy, you're very welcome. Good night, all. Bye, everyone.